One Piece Manga Chapter 1133 titled Praise. In this chapter, we discover more about Elbalf and dive deeper into Robin's painful past. We also finally learn what happened to Saul after the accident and find out if he'll be able to wake up when Robin arrives. So sit back, relax, and watch right till the end of the video, as all of that is revealed. The cover page of the chapter is the 20th volume of the limited cover story, Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage. In the previous volume of the limited cover story, Yamato, Otama, Speed, and Kamachio made their way to the Udon Castle, which was under reconstruction. They were searching for the robber, but couldn't find any sign of him. This volume continues with Holdem taking Otama hostage. He demands Yamato and the others hand over all their belongings. Speed is injured and lying on the ground, having tried to protect Otama. Yamato is left stunned. His mind races for a way to handle the situation. But with this, it's finally revealed that the kidnapper and the thief is none other than Holdem. For those of you who might not remember, Holdem is one of the Shinichi of the Beast Pirates. In chapters 914 and 915, Holdem ordered Gazelle Man to capture Otama. He was curious about her ability to tame Hikimaru and wanted to use her powers for himself. By chapter 916, Holdem escalated things by holding Otama hostage against Luffy and Zoro. Finally, in chapter 917, Luffy rescued Otama and took Holdem down with a powerful Gum Gum Red Hawk. The chapter begins with a flashback from 22 years ago. The explosion in Ohara brought by the Buster Call rings out. The destruction of the island is still pretty fresh in everyone's memory. Just thinking about the tragedy sends chills down their spines. As he recalls the chaotic event, Spandon speaks with the reporters. He recounts the horror of that day, revealing that the evacuation ship carrying the citizens mysteriously blew up. The screams of the victims still haunt him. For Spandon, those terrible cries are something he'll always remember. For those of you who might have forgotten, here's a bit of info about Spandon. During the Ohara incident, he served as the director of CP9 and was the one who initiated the Buster Call that erased Ohara from the map. The reporters quickly write down Spandon's words. They start wondering if the explosion of the warship could also be Robin's doing. It's hard to believe a child is responsible for destroying those marine ships. Little do they know that Spandon's words are nothing but lies. The truth is, it was Admiral Akainu who ordered the Marines to blow up the evacuation ship. An angry shout escapes Spandon's mouth. He yells as he calls Robin a demon pretending to be an 8-year-old child. Spandon warns the reporters not to let the world know about its full details. He fears that if kids learn about this brutal incident, they'll be traumatized for life. Across the world, a massive hunt begins. The ship sets sail through the islands, searching for Robin. But those who spot her are warned not to approach. Instead, they are told to report her immediately. On one island, an old woman claims she saw Robin. Her voice shakes with anger and fear as she describes the encounter. She says that Robin has the eyes of a stone-cold murderer. For those of you who might not know, this old woman is the same one who betrayed Robin after her escape from Ohara. Back in chapter 398 of the manga, Robin is running from the Marines. She tries to find shelter and even helps this woman on her farm. But instead of taking her in, the woman sold her out to the Marines for money. As the large-scale hunt continues, the scene shifts to Robin. Tears roll down her cheeks as she digs through the garbage, searching for something to eat. Snow falls around her, and her tattered clothes barely shield her from the cold. Her meal is the same as the stray dog eating beside her. Soon, people began to see Robin as pure evil. Despite being a brilliant scholar, they say she has no trace of empathy. Finally, the world sees Robin's bounty. The number is high enough to attract every pirate and bounty hunter. It doesn't matter that she's just a child. Smirks spread across their faces as they imagine the reward. Mercy is nowhere to be found. They know about her strange powers and plan to capture her, dead or alive. As the hunt continues, Robin shivers under the cold rain. She stays in the slums, hiding from the world government. But day after day, fear grips the people around her. One mother can't sleep in peace, knowing a criminal is hiding somewhere nearby. Even an old man is terrified, praying for Robin to die. Everyone is hoping the Marines will put an end to this quickly. After all, Robin has become the enemy of the world. As the Marines search everywhere, Robin quietly hides in a corner. The scene shifts to a tall cliff. Robin, out of breath, stares down at the drop. Her mind is filled with the thought of ending it all. But then, Her mother's voice pops up. Olvia's plea reaches Robin's heart. She bets on the future and wants Robin to live. Robin's sobs catch in her throat as she clings to those memories. Tears well up as Saul's farewell resurfaces. His words are filled with hope, promising that one day she will find true friends. But Robin is still scared. Everyone is terrifying, and she can't help but feel frightened. Yet, Robin steps back from the edge. These memories lead Robin back to episode 277 of the anime, where Olvia refuses to escape Ohara with her. Instead, Olvia entrusts Robin to Saul, and chooses to stay behind to help the Oharan scholars protect history. Then, in episode 278, Saul sacrifices himself for Robin. He fights the Marines and tries to attack Spandon, but Kuzan interferes and freezes him. As Saul slowly turns to ice, he promises Robin that she won't be alone someday. The scene shifts back to a bookstore. As Robin continues to hide, she flips through a book, her fingers tracing a map. Her heart sinks as she notices that Ohara is gone. Robin quickly draws something on the page, but someone suddenly grabs her hand. Robin gasps and tries to run. When she looks back, Ohara is now drawn on the map. Robin bolts out of the store, leaving her jacket behind. Angry shouts fill the air as people scream at her. They see Robin as a monster, convinced she'll use her childlike appearance to harm them. Their whispers are full of fear and cruelty. All they want is for Robin to disappear. Once again, Saul's words echo in her mind. He had once told her that when things are painful, she should just laugh. Robin forces a smile, tears and snot streaming down her face. She runs, laughing the same way Saul did. The scene shifts to the present day at Elbalf. Seeing the port on the tree, the Straw Hats and the others cannot hide their surprise. They cannot believe that there's a sea on top of the clouds. Dory grins as he docks their ship. He introduces the place as the Western Village Port and says that the ones earlier are sea clouds. The villagers raise their arms high as they welcome Bragi and Dory. They had waited for so long that they started to grow worried. The crew are flushing with excitement. Bonnie, Lilith, and Frankie cheer, their happiness written all over their faces. Everything around them feels majestic. Even Brook tilts his head, wondering if his brain, or what's left of them, is acting up. Bragi glances above. Up there, Luffy and Usopp let out a victorious shout. The two stand shoulder to shoulder, their arms barely apart. Bonnie and Frankie's eyes sparkle as they watch Luffy and Usopp in the sky. A grin stretches across Robin's face as she wonders what the two are riding on. In an epic double spread, the giant midship Svalar appears. It glides effortlessly through the sky, floating with the help of the island clouds attached to its paddles. On board are the Straw Hats, Gerd, and Goldberg, with the Thousand Sunnies still in tow. Luffy and Usopp stand proudly on the ship, gazing at the breathtaking country below. From their point of view, even the giants seem small. The villagers of Elbalf cheer loudly as they wait for Svalar to come down. Lilith is captivated by the scene before her eyes. For her, the climate in Elbalf feels perfect. Every technology here, from the island and sea clouds to the Sabaody bubbles, rainbows, and hovers, work together in perfect harmony. Finally, the Svalar docks at the port. Hadrian immediately greets Luffy and Usopp, welcoming them to Elbalf. Nami gives a thumbs up as she talks with Robin. Just as she expected, Robin has changed her hairstyle. Robin smiles in return, thinking Nami's outfit fits perfectly with the Elbalf vibe. Luffy is happy to see Hadrian too. His excitement soars as he and the crew stand on Hadrian and Gerd's massive palms. Stanson watches the Straw Hats with a friendly smile, while Goldberg can't help but grin from ear to ear. Road, on the other hand, is wounded and crucified. Hadrian is just as excited to reunite with Luffy, his heart racing with pride. Learning about Luffy's rise to Emperor has only deepened his respect for his captain. Later, Hadrian plans to introduce the 4 active members of the new Giant Warrior Pirates. He deliberately leaves out Road, even though there are actually 5 members. Gerd exchanges pleasantries with the crew, but as Luffy mentioned in the past, he doesn't need any subordinates. Hadrian knows this, but he believes it's fine. After all, he's doing this on his own. As seen in Chapter 800, Luffy refuses to become the master captain of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. He doesn't want to treat Hadrian and the others as subordinates because it would mess with his style of being free. Despite this, Hadrian, Bartolomeo, and the other representatives vow to officially become the self-proclaimed captains of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Hadrian brings up Big Mom's defeat in Wano. While most villagers in Elbalf aren't familiar with the outside world, the news fills them with excitement. Usopp reacts sharply at the mention of Big Mom's name. However, Gerd looks troubled. Lin was once her friend, but she can't forgive the terrible things she's done. For those of you who might not remember, Gerd used to be Big Mom's playmate when they were orphans at the House of Lambs. However, everything changed when Gerd witnessed Lin lose control and cause massive destruction before the Winter Solstice Festival in Elbalf. This event left Gerd deeply shaken. But this is no time to chit-chat. Broggy and Dory shout from the tavern's door, eager to kick off the party. Food and drinks are the top priority, and mountains of it await inside. Warriors from all over Elbalf gather to join the festivities. Luffy sticks his tongue out in anticipation, and he and Usopp can't wait to dig in and recharge. Just as they make a run for the tavern, Robin reminds them of her other plan. The scene shifts to the southwestern part of the western village. The Straw Hats are on board the Svalar with Gerd as their guide. As the ship glides through the sky, the crew chats away. Robin hadn't planned to bring everyone along, but her crewmates all insisted on coming. Even Luffy decided to put off his meal for this. Gerd paddles the Svalar and fills everyone in on their destination. She explains that Saul wants to show Robin his library, so they're headed to the nearby school. It's a bit of a trip, but Gerd is happy to take them there. Luffy's expressions grow serious as he lectures Robin. As the captain, it's his duty to meet and thank anyone who's helped his crew. Skipping out on a feast to greet Saul is a no-brainer for him. Robin can't help but giggle as she hugs Bonnie. She's surprised that Luffy knows about this kind of etiquette. The scene shifts to a short flashback. Before the crew departs, they share their plan with everyone. Broggy grins widely, saying he's willing to postpone the feast until after they bring Saul. In the meantime, Hadrian will prepare the moose meat. Back in the present, the Svalar continues to sail. As they journey, Gerd shares more about Saul. She explains that he's now Elbaf's history teacher, often discussing various books. Usopp is amazed to learn that even Elbaf's warriors study hard. In the next moment, the Svalar finally reaches its destination. Gerd introduces the area as the Warrior Springs. On a giant branch of the treasure tree Atom sits an establishment called the Owl Library. A waterfall flows beside the library, cascading down toward the spring below. The Straw Hats couldn't believe their eyes. Gerd calls it a spring, but to them, it looks like it leads to a beach. Gerd agrees. She explains that the Warrior Spring was a beach formed from the broken parts of the tree. While it doesn't have tides, the waterfalls create waves that look like those of the sea. As the Svalar lands, Luffy sprints toward the library, eager to bring Saul back to the tavern. Nami quickly grabs his cheeks, pulling him back. This is Robin's reunion, and Luffy will have to wait. Robin's heart pounds as she takes a deep breath. She feels both excited and nervous to see Saul again. Suddenly, a panicked voice calls out. A giant comes running toward them, gasping for breath. She pleads for help, revealing that Saul has fallen and can't get up. This scene is first shown in chapter 1131. In that chapter, a giant shouts for help because Saul has had an accident. Now, we're about to find out what really happened. Luffy is burning with rage. They traveled all this way and this is what they found? Sanji shares his disappointment too. This was supposed to be a reunion 22 years in the making, but instead, Saul just collapsed? But Chopper is ready to help. As a doctor, he's sure he can examine him right away. Usopp urges Chopper to get to work quickly. The giant points toward where Saul is. Seeing Saul lying face down in the sand, Robin was speechless. But then, giggles erupt as she laughs at the silliness of the situation. She reassures her friends that everything is fine and tells them to stay put. Robin walks towards Saul, ignoring Brook and the others. The wave crashes over Saul's unconscious body. But as Robin gets closer, Saul twitches a bit. As if waiting for something, Robin smiles knowingly. In the next moment, Saul lifts his head and lets out a loud roar. All this time, he was just faking the accident. Robin doesn't even flinch. Saul lets out an awkward laugh, wondering if Robin isn't even a little shocked. Now this takes me back to Robin and Saul's first meeting. In chapter 392, Saul was also lying face down on the shore. Just like now, Robin walked up to him, and Saul tried to surprise her. But once again, Robin wasn't shocked at all. Looking at Robin, Saul's mind drifts to the past. Their first meeting was just like this, yet something is different now. Robin's face is the same, but there's now a spark in her eyes. Joy fills Saul's gaze as he softly says her name. Sitting upright, he lets out a hearty laugh. They hadn't met in so long, so Saul wasn't sure how to act. Robin giggles, realizing that even now, Saul's laugh hasn't changed. But Saul can no longer wait. He gently places Robin in his hand, holding her close. Saul is amazed. His new prosthetic leg catches attention, but all he can focus on is how much Robin has grown. She has become so beautiful that she looks just like Olvia. Their kind and gentle eyes look so identical. Hearing her mother's name, Robin recalls an old memory. She recalls Olvia's sacrifice, leaving her behind to ensure her future. Olvia believed that one day Robin would understand her actions. Saul wonders if Robin has heard about Vegapunk's broadcast. Since Robin was there, she only learned about it from the newspapers. Suddenly, Vegapunk's voice appears. Vegapunk once declared that history is written by the victors. As Saul speaks to Robin, the voices of the scholars from Ohara resurface. Their words should have been buried in history, but thanks to Vegapunk, the voices of Ohara's scholars are passed on. Robin listens quietly as Saul speaks with pride about Vegapunk's actions. As a true scientist, Vegapunk never preached about right or wrong. He simply risked everything to share the truth with the world. To Saul, that step marks the start of a new future. Robin agrees, but finds herself more concerned about Saul's scars. She gently asks if they still hurt. Saul's mind drifts back to the past. He explains how the flames from Ohara melted Kuzan's ice. When he woke up, Saul found himself drowning in the ocean. It wasn't until later that he learned Robin had survived too. Saul's smile fades as anger rises in his voice. He can't hide his frustration with the cruel things the reporters spread about Robin. But Robin isn't interested in revisiting those painful memories. She flashes a bright smile and looks at Saul. Robin spreads her arms wide as she asks him to praise her for being alive. Saul laughs through his tears, pulling her closer to his beard. Of course, Robin deserves his praise. Saul's voice trembles with emotions as he shouts his gratitude. For 22 years, he's been grateful that Robin survived. To him, the fact that they met again is worth celebrating. Robin savors the moment, but memories of her past creep in. She was once a lonely child, abandoned by everyone she cared about, cursing life itself. Tears start to stream down her face as the weight of those memories overwhelms her. In that dark time, she had nearly given up. Robin's composure crumbles and tears spill down her face. Robin's voice breaks with emotion, her sobs raw and heartfelt. For so long, she had longed to see Saul again. Saul feels the same. Seeing Robin cry stirs something deep within him, and tears also stream down his face. From afar, the Straw Hats try to give them space. Most of them are in tears, unable to bear the weight of the moment. Even Sanji and Frankie can't hold it together. But Luffy, Zoro, and Jinbei remain watching. Luffy's smile shines brighter than ever, and his heart is alit with happiness. For him, this is a moment of pure joy, a reunion worth every second of their journey. What a heartfelt chapter! After 22 years, Robin and Saul are finally back together. How did their journey and this emotional reunion make you feel? Comment below and let me know what you think. As always, press like if you enjoyed the video. And if you don't want to miss out on future One Piece chapters like this one, definitely subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you missed any old chapters, click here to catch up right after this video. Sadly, there will be a break next week, so I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, thank you for watching, and have a great day, Nakama.